Hi, everybody. I am so excited by this place. I honestly went to book another place and it was so divinely like literally my computer was acting funny and then it was like unavailable and then I went someplace else, it was like unavailable, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then finally I was like, I'm just gonna go with this one because it's so cute. But I was just like rushing in the beginning. I was like, no, let me pick one. I was kind of guided to this. It felt good in my energy, and it's just so nice. It's so beautiful. Like, it makes me, oh my gosh, it has cards of humanity. If only someone else was here. um, it just makes me want to write a book. Like, I love writing, and I love whimsical places, and I love, it's like brick and wood and plants and vases that are just really well maintained, and it's just amazing. And this neighborhood is phenomenal. I'm glad that I picked this one because there were a bunch of other places on there that, at first glance you're like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. But then I was looking at this and I was like, I don't know why, I just feel like I really want to try that one. And this street in general just has a lot of character. Like, there's such, like, look at this building across the street. I don't know if you can see it's cute little red doors. You can barely see it, but it's been quite the day. I just checked in. I went to the museum all freaking day. It was so fun. It was so fun. And I was thinking about how when I was doing family lineage stuff, Tenochtitlan had come up. And so when I was doing the history and like looking to see where they were from, I was like, oh, I had no idea that it was modern day Mexico City. And so I kept getting like messages to come here, but it wasn't quite aligning. And like a few people had invited me, but I didn't want to go with those people. I was like, feels like it's coming, but I feel like I'll know when. And it just perfectly timed with this race that I'm gonna do this weekend in Cancun. And yeah, it's just like so amazingly timed. So amazingly timed. And I feel really grateful to be here, and it's just like another reminder of why I always tell people, I'm never gonna get tired of saying this, like, follow your aspirations, follow God, follow the universe, follow your ancestors. And I once upon a time, I told my ancestors, all of them, I was like, ancestors, I want each and every one of you to send me around the world to show me where all of you were from. And ever since then, it's been like so bananas, but it's been like the most beautiful journey I think I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing. And you always have those days where you're like, am I making the right decision? Should I blah blah blah? And I like when you start to follow all the signs, right? Like, you get tested, especially right before something comes in. And there's been a lot of family energy popping up and people asking or being like, come home, when are you coming home? And I was like, never. I'm just kidding. But sometimes that happens when it's like, how badly do you want it? Right? Like, how badly do you want it? And I know some of you know the story of the Travel Savage Diaries and like why I started this channel. But I had always also promised God that I would document my entire adventure because I was like, God, I will travel around and go wherever you want me to go and help whoever you want me to help. And I was like, can it be an adventure? And like literally ever since then, it's been an adventure. And I don't even know how I made it here because I was booking tickets like so last minute, and then I was like, I don't think I should get these tickets, they seem kind of crappy. And then I was like, whatever, just get used to it. You know, this is the adventure. And I bought the tickets, and then I got on the plane, and then they put me in first class, and I was like, you just never know what type of blessings are going to come to you. And sometimes your path is just going and being available. That's really how I feel. That's how I feel when I write, right? Like, I'm sure, and feel free to comment below, like, what is it that there's something you do that you love to do to just share with humanity, you know? Like when we were live on the Fairy Medicine channel, my other spiritual channel, that's been around for a minute, you know, someone asked me about my writing, and they're like, do you get all the money for your writing? And I was like, I don't get paid at all for my writing. I do it because I love you all, and I do it because I believe in creative artistry, and artists being one of the most impactful segments or groups of people who help heal. And, you know, whatever you define your art as, dancing, singing, painting, reading, activism, sculpting, architecture, engineering, like, I consider all of that the arts. But like, use your skills to help people. You know, I was talking about the Mango Men and other manifestations. The reason why I wrote that is because it's like a mix of spirituality, my journey, what happens when you walk with God and the ancestors, poor choices you make, but each story is a little bit different, and there's a different lesson in all of them. And it's really about teaching people how to love themselves where they are. So I invite you all to like find or discover within yourself something that you really love, and just share it with the world without any hesitation. Like the Mango Men, I just did it because I started to go live with my friends, and we were talking about love and intimacy, and I kept saying, like, every time these men come, like, mangoes come, because I know it's Oshun, you know, and I start eating obsessively mangoes, and I'm like, oh no. And my friend made a joke, and she was like, oh, who are all these men? And then someone was like, Mango Men. And we all just started laughing. And so ever since then, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have an adventure, and it's been fun, and it's been doing really well. Like, I appreciate everybody who's been streaming it. Don't forget to rate it. That would be great, so more people can listen to it, the free audiobook. But it's like, you know, I had prayed to God also that I needed to be inspired. Like, my creativity, I'm sure like many of you, like, some people can be really creative when they're in one space. I cannot. My energy doesn't work that way. I am extremely creative and dynamic when my scenery changes, and when I experience life, because it just fills me up. So when I stay in one place too long, and I don't have, oh, that's a big fly, I probably should shut the door, and I don't have like movement of energy, I can't create. Or if I try, it's like my brain is like, it's not creation, it's like thinking energy. Is anybody else like that? You let me know. But also find what helps you create, right? Like I said, for me, it's travel. It's also ballet. It's going to museums. And it's not necessarily that I go to museums and I paint afterwards. No, it's just like, it's like being in an energy of awe and wonderment. Is that a word? And deciding to live, you know? And there were so many synchronicities while I was out too. That's what I also wanted to share. Because I always travel based on my intuition or signs that my ancestors bring, or God tells me to go, or I'm led angelically, but I'm also heavily energy led. And so I was walking in a certain direction because I believe in intuitive walks, and I teach people in More Than Worthy how to do it. And I could just feel like pulsing. And I turned around and I was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know what's over there, but I just have to walk there. It was like I couldn't go anyplace else. I had to go to wherever that was leading me. And so I just walked and walked and walked and walked. And then I ended up in this like really beautiful museum, but it wasn't just that. It were things in the museum, because I was like, why do I feel like I'm searching for something? And I was like sensing it. And then I ended up in this whole room that was like specific to Tenochtitlan. And then I was like, I can't leave without going up those stairs. And I couldn't figure out how to get to the stairs. Like I could not. I was like, oh, they made me drink all my water. I'm thirsty. It's hot. Like I was like, I want to go, but I can't go. It's like my soul wouldn't let me go. And then I finally figured it out. And then I was like sensing. And then I walked. It was like turn left. And so I turned left, and it was this huge stained glass hallway. And there was this huge, like, huge Diana. And I've always had a strong connection with Diana my entire life. And that's why I also have, like, the bow on my arm and moons and things like that. But it was before I knew that connection. And I had said in some other videos where if I say, hey, Diana, are you here? Someone will walk up and be like, hi, my name's Diana. It's like the creepiest thing ever. And I thought I was crazy for a minute. And then when my friend traveled with me, she saw it happen. I was like, Diana's here. And I went to Reiki because I thought my skin was exploding. But it was Diana's energy. And she was like, you have someone in your body. And I was like, I know. Help. But the first person who actually met her and said her name was this person named Harley, who's a psychic medium like me. And we were in New Orleans, and I was like a pretty strong possession. And I was like messed up, like flailing kind of possessed. It was bad. Not like in an evil way, but just like in the spiritual realm. And in a trance, a really bad trance. And I just like hear her. I can't really see her, but her voice gets louder, and she comes closer, and she's like, you have someone in your body named Diana? And I was like, how do you know? But it was pretty funny. So you never know where you're meant to go, long story short. But you will always find what your soul is seeking. That's what's so fun. Like, it was like a shit show to plan this trip. Such a shit show. But then everything started aligning, and I was like, I'm not fucking giving up. Running to the print store. It's like, please help me. I have to take a flight in like 2 hours. But everything happens for a reason. My affirmation was like, talking about resilience. Like, it always aligns with what I'm doing in that moment. That's how they also speak to through my phone. Or like when I was like, should I do the race? And then it was like, I love doing active things with my friends. I was like, all right. But life doesn't get better than this, you know what I mean? I just really hope that all of you just like go after what you want. Don't let anybody tell you any different. There's going to be people who question you. Do what I do. Don't tell them anything. Don't tell them anything. I don't even tell all my close friends because they're too close to home. And if they're going through something, you know, you can feel it and you can sense it. And you got to protect your manifestations at all costs. At the end of the day, the Most High be speaking the loudest, and so I need to be able to hear, and you need to be able to hear. But anyways, my friends, I'm going to sign off. A new episode of The Mango Man and Other Manifestations drops this Friday at 8 a.m. East Coast time. So be sure to check it out on Substack. Or you can just stream it on any major platform like Spotify and Apple and all the things. And I'm going to be making a fun video of this travel and some other ones that'll be dropping soon. But comment below, as usual, if you made it all the way to the end. Comment an airplane with ghosties. With ghosties. Anyways, I'll chat with you. Anyways, I'm tired. I haven't slept. Goodbye.